Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Nexiphor Cast, where we highlight forward-thinking leaders who are shaping their own industry. Today, I have a very special guest called Paul Caden. Paul, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. To get started, could you share a bit about your background, your journey, your role, and how you got started in the first place?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a mechanical engineer through university. I went on to do a couple of trade qualifications, and I worked in the building services industry in London, maintaining those large buildings that you see up there. Moved through different roles and different companies to become a projects manager and a service manager. And then I met my current partner, Aline, and there was a fantastic pub near her. And every time we drive past it, I would say, if I had a bit of money, we could develop this pub out. She then did some research and found some great training courses for us to do. We paid a lot of money to go on the training courses about property.
Yeah.
We then, 2019, started building our own property portfolio. Consists of some buy-to-lets, some shops with tops, blocks of flats, large HMOs, and we're at a position now where we build property portfolios for our clients, and we'll find the property, we'll do the full renovation, and we'll let the property out. So it's a completely hands-off service for them now.
Nice. What was the turning point for you when you realized property development was the right path for you?
I think once we'd done the first buy-to-let and we had realised that the training, what they said, actually worked, and we had that, excuse my French, but holy crap, it works moment.
Yeah, yeah, I get it there. Who or to ask you one of these questions, who or what influenced you to make this big step or this big decision to get started in this field?
I'm not sure. It wasn't something we were both looking to do. We sort of fell into it because of my comments on that pub. So we went to a 2-hour seminar, and we liked what the lady said there. And then we went to a weekend course, and we were sold to there and liked what was being said. So we then signed up, and we're both people that will pay for training happily and educate ourselves,
Yeah.
and we'll make the most of that training. So, there's a lot of people that go on these courses that will go on the courses but don't take the actions after they've been trained. Whereas we're very both driven people, so we didn't see the point of spending all that money if we weren't then going to put it into action and do what they said we should do.
Okay, awesome. Can you also tell us about a memorable challenge or unexpected event you faced in your property journey? Maybe something that tested your skills with those skills you could also resolve that kind of issues.
I think one of the more unusual problems that we've faced was we were about 2 weeks away from completing the purchase of 2 shops and 3 flats, and we got a newspaper article sent to us from a potential letting agent we were going to use, and the newspaper article showed that a car had driven into one of the shops that we were buying.
Okay.
So there was a little bit of damage done. The window wasn't broken, but the wall below the window had been pushed into the shop, so it all needed to be taken out and replaced. And it put us in a bit of a difficult situation because the seller really wanted to sell the properties to us. We really wanted to buy them to us. But we had this insurance claim going on. Unfortunately, a drunk driver had left the road and driven into the shop, so it was all covered by his insurance. But the insurance companies are very, very slow. So
Yeah.
luckily, we trusted the vendor we were buying from, and he was really good, and he helped us out carrying out through the insurance. And in the end, he got a cash payment, which we used to pay our builder to go and fix the shop after we purchased it from him. And But yeah, that was a bit more one of the unusual things that's happened to us, and we just had to try and work out what the all of the risks that could happen, what could go wrong. You know, the vendor could have taken the money and not given it to us, leaving us a damaged shop. And you know,
Yeah.
luckily my partner's got a really good risk management head on her shoulders, so she's able to see the blind spots that I can't always see. Yeah, so that was an interesting property purchase.
Yeah. Nice. Interesting story. So, what's one lesson you wish you'd learn earlier in the property career, let's say?
I think it's to set goals. So set at the beginning of the year, write down what you want to achieve, and then break those goals down into bite-sized actions, so you can achieve what you're looking to do and put it out there. Tell everyone what your goal is and how you're looking
Nice.
to achieve it, and that way people will come to you and help you, and you'll achieve much more by writing stuff down and telling people about it than just being a bit guarded about it or even not having a plan.
Nice. Okay. So besides that story you just mentioned about that crash and so on, can you tell us like your approach, like how do you handle setbacks or failures along the way or along of your whole career? How did you handle most of, like, can say, business failures or business challenges?
So professionally, we're always open and honest and transparent with people. Um, so
Yeah.
recently we had to pull out of a purchase of a house because the valuation for the lending came back a lot less than we were expecting. And I hate doing that because I really hate letting people down. But over the years, I've recognised that being open and honest and transparent with people doesn't make what you're saying to them any less harder to take, but
Yeah.
they appreciate you being honest with them and telling them as soon as you know what's happened, why it's happened. If you're able to rectify it, then we'd obviously say this is how we're going to plan to rectify this problem. But sometimes you can't, and sometimes you've just got to pull the plaster off and say, "I'm really sorry, this has happened. We can't go ahead with it."
Yeah,
Um,
and just to be direct with it, like transparent. Yeah.
Very true. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
fully agree on that. So, let's jump a bit on the challenges like every owner or every business owner is facing right now in all kind of industries. So, looking at the property managed market today, what shifts or trends are you seeing that are impacting how you do business?
The government is a big one at the moment. So
Okay.
we've got a budget coming up in the UK at the 26th of November, and everyone is fearful that the taxes are going to be raised, but they don't know
Mm-hmm.
what, because the government keep leaking all of these different scenarios about what they're going to do to see who gets upset the most about which scenario, and then they can try and work out who's going to be less voice or less noisy about taxes being
Yeah.
raised. And a lot of the people we know are sitting on their hands a bit at the moment because they don't know if, for instance, one of the things that the government's been talking about is putting the national insurance on
Mm-hmm.
income private landlords have. So if you own property in your own name, there could potentially be an 8% national insurance contribution to pay now.
Oh, okay, I see.
And that's if you own property in your own name. But if you're in a company, that's not going to affect you. So hopefully, so it's there's a lot of unknown. You know, there's just a lot of what's the word? What word am I looking for? There's a lot of uncertainty out there. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you
Yeah,
know, people don't like uncertainty.
I agree.
Um, but yeah.
I agree. Okay, so moving that like aside, are there like new opportunities or is you think like property professionals like yourself, also leaders, should be paying attention right now, like before, or maybe before like jumping into this space for fresher people as well?
I think you need to any sort of investing that you do, you need to understand how it works. So if you're
Yeah.
going to invest your money in something, doesn't matter what it is, you need to understand how it works and what the mechanisms are, how it's affected, who can affect it, before you really get into it. So
Yeah.
as long as you've got that background and understanding of what you're doing and how people can affect the markets, I think you're in a good place. With the property market, for example, is very stable. If you read newspapers, you'll see crashes and spikes and falls, but in reality, it's not like that. It's a slow moving beast, and you can track it over many months. You can see changes over months rather than days or hours. So if you know where you are in a property cycle, you can plan, quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters ahead, because
Yeah.
there's not a massive thing unless you have something like COVID, which is a once in a lifetime event. You know, it's a very sort of predictable industry to be in.
Yeah, perfect advice, and I appreciate your advice for also for our listeners, and also for all the freshers who are like considering joining this space in this, since it's like a great space to start to. So another question is like, how do you see the expectations of the clients evolving on the property space?
So I always ask the client what they want to achieve.
Yeah, nice.
So we try, we'll say, and for example, I had one client come to me recently who told me they wanted 10 HMOs. That's great.
Okay.
Are they 5 bedroom HMOs? Are they 20 bedroom HMOs? Are they making you £50 a week? Are they making you £1,100 a month? So sort of, I try and break it down into sort of cash flow and how much cash flow do you want to achieve each month or each year. And then once
Nice.
we know
Okay.
that number, we can then break it down, because it might be that you don't need to own 10 HMOs to do that. You might only need to own 5. So it's about understanding what our clients want to achieve, and then we can work out how we can get there with them.
Yeah.
Delivering
It's
results.
always the focus is like around the client. So talking about the clients, like what do clients want today that they didn't want maybe years ago? Some changes or some other things.
They want someone to manage all of the changing legislation. So,
Okay.
it almost seems sort of every quarter there's a new bill coming out which is going to affect the landlord in some way. And our clients want us to be across all of that, which we are. So we
Yeah.
can, if we know a legislation change coming in, we can start making changes before that to make sure that we're ready. So when it does impact, we're already got the systems in place and we're already doing what the legislation says before it kicks in.
Yeah, but what about also the technology of maybe the role of the technology? How is that impacting like the client collaboration, the collaboration between you and the clients? Because there are a lot of clients, especially in that space, that are like late on their 60s, I can say, and they like don't can like fit in really easily with this kind of with the technology, especially with this AI stuff. What do you think? Like, how is the technology like impacting this overall client satisfaction thing?
It helped. So my partner was actually, we drove up to Grimsby, and my partner, while she was in the car, was using ChatGPT to try and locate all of the different flats that are in our investment area. And it was really interesting because ChatGPT mentioned to her that she could click on a link and subscribe to an EPC, which is an
Okay.
energy performance certificate in the UK, and she got access to the whole EPC database for all of the flats in our investment areas. There's 7,000 lines of data on this bit of information, and neither of us knew that this was even possible to download all this data. And then she's obviously used it to tidy the data up, and then we've grouped bits and pieces together, and now we've got a targeted list of properties that we can go and write
Yeah.
letters to see if the vendors would sell. And it just enables us to get in there before estate agents are there, or just put that thought into someone's head, they want to sell, maybe they could sell to us rather than going through, the estate agent route.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting. And again, I'm still learning it a lot, and I tend to use ChatGPT. It probably does about 60% of the work for me. I'll input
Yeah.
about 20% of what I want it to do. It'll do the donkey work, and I'll finesse at the back end to make sure what he's saying is actually what we want it to say. And
Yeah.
then I'm always feeding back to. I treat it more like a PA than anything else. And I tell it it's doing a really good job, and it says thank you very much to me, and I'm doing a great work. So it's always nice to see. Want a pat on the
Yeah.
back? It's always good.
Yeah, yeah, I fully agree on that because at least knowing like how to use AI is like a big advantage. But I
Mm,
always say like if you just know at least what the AI can do, it's like knowing like the whole stuff because there are always people you can hire to do like the exact automation stuff,
mm,
to do like the implementation of the AI in your database, in your system, in your backend stuff. But you as a leader, you as a founder, it's a huge plus if you at least know that this can be replaced by AI, this can be automated, this
mm.
repetitive task can be done. I can like replace this, so I have more time for myself. This can make me so money. So as long as there are a lot of people to hire for this is a great thing to do. So, what's one trend you think most people in this industry are like underestimating or overlooking?
I think people underestimate what AI can't do or what it does badly, and they presume that AI
Hmm.
has all of the answers for them.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, that's exactly what I think with that.
Yeah, and they are just like asking ChatGPT, for example, let's say for a text or for let's say for content, and they're
Mm,
just like, okay, make me this content, and they are not reading it at all. They are not checking if the AI is making the right thing you ask him to do. They are just taking it, copy and paste it, let's say to LinkedIn or maybe to another social paste and post it, which is a very like I can say dangerous thing to do because you can
mm.
like also share like confidential information. So it's like I totally agree with you on that in that space. So can you tell us like what's the biggest challenge you're working through at the moment in your business?
So we've changed how we work recently, and we used to have a fairly big database of people we
Mm-hmm.
would find properties for, and we've got one client who's really good. Every time we send him a property, he takes it. It doesn't. He's very hands off. He just lets us get on with it, and we've
Yeah,
made the business decision to work with more people like that. So our biggest challenge has been finding more people like that who just will just let us get on with the job of building them a portfolio and an income
yeah,
without micromanaging us or just let us get on with it. We've done it for ourselves. We know how to do it. We've got different strategies that we can use, and it's quickest and best for everyone, in our opinion. If you just leave us alone to get on with it, we'll have regular updates with you. We know what your goal is. We'll hit your goal, and yeah. So finding those sort of people has been the most challenging thing recently for us.
nice. And also, which channel you like mostly prefer to contact the clients in this space, or which channel you use also to talk to the potential clients so you can maybe also qualify them. Because in this space, or there are a lot of clients who reach you out through Facebook, through
Mm.
email, maybe sometimes they call, they use WhatsApp, Telegram. So, which one of these you think is like the best one for now, and which one are you getting the most messages? And are you like doing the qualification manually, like the client qualification?
So I find people use. I do quite a lot of networking, and
Yeah,
quite a lot of the
nice.
leads come through either people networking or people recommending me to people. And what I find is the social media is used to verify we are what we say we are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and people tend to either call me, email me, or WhatsApp me. It's normally one of those three ways of communication, and we'll always use whatever the client is happiest using, because it's just easier for them, and we want to make their lives easier.
Yeah.
And then when we, if we're checking someone out, we will look on social media. If they're in our network circles, we'll ask a few people in the circles, do you know these guys? What do you think of them? And as most of the time, those things come back good because we networking in the right areas with the right people. So it's unusual for negative things to come back from people that have been recommended through our networks.
Yeah, yeah, I like the approach. I like the approach because I like circling back to the AI stuff. There are a lot of like new, I can say, ways to qualify, I can say, leads,
Okay.
because there are a lot of cases when as I mentioned at the beginning, like the firm or let's say your business, it's reached out through different kind of channels, as
Yeah.
I mentioned, Facebook, Telegram, and all of these. And in the past, there always had to be a hired person, a
Yeah.
specific one, to manage all of these channel challenges and to like reply back to the client, because clients before they start investing, they question like how much, where is this located, is there any ROI, all of this kind of stuff, and agents have to do like this manually and spend, for example, time talking to
Mm,
a client, and maybe after an hour or two he wasn't a qualified lead. So that agent, let's say, he just like
yeah.
spent an hour or two of the day and he didn't close the deal. And
Yeah.
what I personally have seen like work now in this space is like they are using like AI automation.
Mhm.
You can, for example, you as an owner, you can have like your own dashboard where you can see all of the people who like write to you or reach out to you on all of this platform, and the
Mhm.
AI will reply back to every each of these.
Yeah.
And the AI will like talk politely and so on, like will qualify the lead, like asking questions like, you can set the question like the budget, the
Yeah.
location, how many family members, all of these. And now the AI, based on these questions he asks and the answers he gets, he will qualify the lead if he's like a potential, I can say, hot lead for you.
Mhm.
And if he's a hot lead, he will just like reach to the owner, in this case you, and he
Yeah.
will say, "Hey, Paul, we have like a hot lead here. Come jump in and close the deal." And so
Amazing.
no one like spent time doing that. So this is like an amazing thing I've seen work in the space with a lot of people which I also know.
Oh, it's
Like
interesting.
moving on, like yeah, it's like AI is like shaping real estate overall, in
Brilliant.
like in a great way, I can say. So what, as we are talking about AI, what are some, I can say, repetitive tasks or like frustration thing you would like maybe also to automate that can help you scale faster, making more money, close more deals, so you as the owner, you and your partner can spend your time only with like important stuff, not dealing with the content, not dealing maybe with a client who's taking your time and maybe you're not closing it because he's not the qualified ones.
Yeah.
What are some tasks you think like you would like to automate that can like make your life easier and make more money?
I mean, what would be really amazing is if all the leads we've got, which we need to chase up for both direct to vendor leads and leads that we have with
Yeah.
estate agents, if AI could do something like that, phone the agent up or, send them an
Yeah.
email and just get a yes, no, what's going on with this, that would save a lot of time. The first or second messages out to people that contact us if we're looking to buy houses from them, a holding message goes out, and then
Yeah.
a second message to organize a viewing, simple tasks like that. Even sort of doing a background research on the properties, so finding out what
Mm-hmm.
the house is worth and how much it can be rented out for, and are there any other different strategies working in that area. You're producing a report on that. That would be really useful as well. Searching for
Nice.
properties. So if we're looking for example a 4 block of flats, if they could go out there and find 4 block of flats in certain postcodes, contact the vendors, see if they're interested in selling. That would be really useful as well.
Nice. I love ideas. Because most of the guests I have, let's say, and also the people I work with, when I ask them like, what do you want to automate? Let's say they are like just stuck. They don't know what to automate because they don't know what AI can do. So like
Mm.
that's a huge advantage on your end.
But you
So
should be asking
I
them. I
let
think you should ask them what
yeah.
are the tasks they don't like doing, and then can you
Yeah, more
automate
direct.
those?
Yeah, what is something that's like really frustrating about your daily
Mm.
work? Just tell me that. and then
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can do the rest. Yeah,
exactly.
like as I mentioned at the beginning, like on every industry is like a huge competition. You know,
Mhm.
everyone is like doing their best to get the clients and also, of course, bring the results to them. So how hard do you find like getting your message out there in this whole crowded, I can say, competition and also network?
Um, I don't worry about that. I
Okay.
don't worry if, my I tell people what I do and how I do, and again, it's just about being open and honest and transparent. I tell people what I do, how I do it, what I can do for them. That's either for them or it isn't. If it's not for them, that's fine. People will work with people they like, know, and trust, and I want to work with people that like, know, and trust me. Hopefully, I like, know, and trust them, and then we
Yeah.
can set up a really good relationship and move forward and create, really good things. You know, if someone looks at some of my content or meets me and they'll be like, "Oh, I don't like him. I don't, he's got a t-shirt on. I don't like. I want my guy to be wearing a suit." I'm like, "Okay, well, that's fine. We're obviously not
Nice,
meant to work
nice.
together, and that's not a problem." Have you,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll say if I know someone that dresses like that, that would be a good fit. I'll say, well, "Have you thought about working with these guys?"
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's
Okay, nice. I like your approach. Okay, so like thinking ahead a few years, what's your vision for your business? Are there any new projects or thing you're excited about, you're excited to share about?
Um, we're currently negotiating a development project, which is 10 bungalows, which is very exciting. I can't share too much because we haven't tied the camels up on that one yet. So
Mm-hmm.
that's certainly something that my partner and I are looking forward to do. And it's the
Great.
first time we'll be working with a joint venture partner. Um, so that's a new challenge for us, sorting out
Yeah.
all the paperwork and working out the contracts and who's responsible for which part and all of that.
Okay.
So that's something that's really exciting me, and hopefully, sort of Q2 next year, we'll be in a position we would have got planning permission and hopefully starting the works. Maybe Q3 start
Nice.
the works. But yeah, that's
Nice.
keeping me going.
I wish you good luck on that, and I know you're gonna crush it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, like, before we wrap up, like, where can our listeners and also maybe potential clients reach out to you, the one who are viewing this podcast?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook as Paul Caden and Instagram, LinkedIn, um, or if you have a look all my contact details are on my social media. So if you want to drop me a message or an email, that's fine as well. We'll respond.
Absolutely. Okay, so Paul, that's a wrap up from my side. I fully appreciate your time. It was super fun, insightful, and also inspirational conversation.
Thank
So
you.
for everyone who is watching, keep thriving, keep pushing, and I will see you in the next episode.